You may recall in a previous video where I replaced the camber arms and toe arms in this to fix the uneven tire wear that happens in so many Teslas with that inside tire wearing out, especially in the rear due to the independent rear suspension. Well, I'm going to review the product that I installed because I had a failure. So stay tuned, you're going to like this video. Tory Hornsby with Tesla Tips and Tricks. Today we're going to be working on my 2020 Model X Performance because I had a failure. So I put the stock components back on a couple of months ago, and I've been researching the best product out there to fix this camber arm issue. So why do we need to replace these camber arms anyway? Well, when you walk up to your car on both sides and you look at your tire, you go, hey, I got plenty of tread left. Let me get in here where the light's a little better. Yeah, look at that. Got plenty of tread left. But that is so deceiving because what's happening is because of this, you can actually see it really good. See how the tire at the bottom is sticking out this way too much. That's negative camber. And what that causes, especially on these performance models with all this torque, is it causes this. Look, that is still showing right there. So this rides on the inside of this tire, especially under acceleration when the vehicle squats, and it wears out the rubber on the inside of the tire faster than it does on the outside. So it leads to very dangerous issues of blowouts and things happening because you walk up to the car, you have no idea there's an issue. You got plenty of tread on the tire, but you really don't. So let's take a look at the products here. This is what I had ordered that I had installed, and it had decent reviews on it too. And when you look at it at first look, it's a hefty piece of aluminum. I mean, it's solid, like it's not gonna break, and the aluminum wasn't the problem. The issue with this, and I'll try to get in here a little closer, you can actually tell. Do you see how this rubber on this side is longer? It's oblong. This is already, the collar is already moved to the inside. It's the same on this side too. This is moved in. And without even really, like I wasn't racing it, I wasn't even getting on it a lot, but after about 6 weeks time, I noticed a little scrub on the tire every now and then, and I knew immediately that it had to be this. This is the only thing that I had changed. So I could grab the tire and I could move it back and forth, and it was very spongy. That explains really well, that's a good word for the rubber that is on this bushing, spongy, rubbery. So now, I reached out in all of my research, I found these guys right here. Intuitive Tesla Performance, in the number 2, ITIVE. So let's take a look at their camber arm first. Let me get this open. Oh, I got some swag. Where am I gonna put my sticker here? I got my Intuitive sticker. I have to put that somewhere, at least in the shop too. Packaging, obviously, so much better than the other packaging. But who cares about package if the product works, right? So check this out. The engineering on this and the quality on this is so much better. On Intuitive's website, they actually mention the challenge that these other brands have with their bushings. You can see pictures of it. So this not only has high quality bushings, it also has adjustability that's very, very fine-tuned. Just to kind of put these side by side. See how coarse the threads are for this compared to how fine the thread is on these adjustments? What that means is that when you make a small turn here, it adjusts it much bigger than this. This is very fine-tuned. Also, look at the graph that they give you for adjustment. So as you're turning this, it shows you where you are. So right now you can see it starts on 6. And if I were to move this in, that little dial would go in all the way to 0 or -5, -10. So it's giving me 6 degrees positive camber, which is I think the stock of what they recommend, but I can adjust it from there if I want to, no big deal. And then lastly, this locks with 2 nuts just squeezing together. That's pretty old school. I mean, I've done that with hot rod stuff for a long time, but man, nothing beats a nice collar with the star bit, and this is gonna hold. I don't have to worry about, did I tighten these 2 nuts together enough? And it's hard to get 2 wrenches up in the car as well, but when you look at this lockout collar, boom, you're gonna be good to go. So it's so much higher quality of a product. One more thing to mention is the nipple that the arm rides on for the ride height sensor, they include it to where over here, I had to take the one off of the stock arm and put it on here. Nobody's gonna see that, I know, but it just is one more way that I really appreciated what they provided. So now looking here at the tow arm, we'll look at the difference. So this is the intuitive tow arm. Oh, I didn't mention this on the other one. You cannot put these on backwards. I've read a lot of reviews from people saying that they started out putting these control arms on backwards, different ones, not necessarily this brand, but these have instructions written on them. This is the right side, it goes to the subframe, top right, so no big deal. This is the tow arm for the other ones that I had. One of the things too is it was very tight to get in there with the adjustment, and I had to put the wrench to the side, and what I noticed is that having to hold the aluminum, I actually marked up the aluminum a little bit. Nobody's gonna see it, not the end of the world, but hey, when you put a new product in, you wanna know that, that it's gonna look good. This also comes with the bolts. In my other video, I mentioned you gotta cut one of the bolts, and I'll talk about that in a second. Well, this comes with the replacement ones. How awesome is that? I had to buy new bolts. I was prepared for it, but I had to buy new Tesla bolts so that after I cut, and I'll put these out and you can see where I cut it last time. So I cut this, and after I cut this, I had to get brand new stock ones. So Intuitive sends the bolts with it, so that's nice too. So that's a little bit of a side-by-side comparison of these products. Let's get it installed. All right, I'm ready to jack it up. I haven't done it yet, but a couple of things to mention. There's a lot of people who say you don't need to use these pucks. There's holes under there that these pucks slide into so that you're not jacking on the plastic. For me, I believe that using the rubber puck is just a better overall thing. I'm not gonna scratch the plastic or do anything. Some people think that that's silly. I just prefer to do it that way. But before I actually lift the car, I need to put this in jack mode. So I'm gonna hit the vehicle. I'm gonna go to service. I'm gonna tap on jack mode, and now I'm ready to jack the car up. This is your tow arm. it controls how far the wheel is pointing out to the left or the right. So as you control your camber arm, this is your camber arm, as it pushes the top of the wheel out so that you're not at that negative camber, the tire will angle in. That's why you have to have adjustable, for most of these Teslas, not all of them, you got to check your models and year specifically, but for most Teslas, you have to replace the tow arm and the camber arm. Some of the newer ones you don't though. So I've loosened up the ride height sensor. I've popped off the tow link. I'm going to be popping off this side of it to replace with the other ones that I've got in the box that came with the Intuitive brand. And I've loosened all of the nuts. So I'm going to be taking off the camber arm now. So let me put you back up here and I'll take off the tow arm after that. We'll see you in a minute. So this is the bolt that you would normally have to cut. You can see it's got the stock adjustment in there. It works like a cam to give a little bit of toe movement. Not much, just a very little bit of toe. So I'm going to set this to the side. There is your tow arm. These are even polyurethane. They're not rubber, they're polyurethane, but they are known for wearing out over time. The Intuitive brand's supposed to be better. So I can see here, this says subframe left. So the subframe is this over here. That means this side needs to go to the wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to leave it at the stock, what they have it set on. And I think that that's going to be good. I'm also going to leave these stickers on here just in case anybody's ever adjusting it in the future. We'll have a QR code to the torque specifications and alignment specifications. So it's good stuff there. So to put this in, it's pretty simple. I use the stock bolts for this. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to slide this on this side first. I like to get this bolt started down here. I'll get it started. While it's loose, I'm just going to get it to where I can hand tighten it all the way. That's as far as I can hand tighten it. And now I can pull this out. This bounces the wheel assembly. So I'm just going to kind of bounce it into place. And so this is where I was bouncing it into place, just between these two brackets that are coming out from the subframe. And I got it bounced into the right place, and then I put the bolt in, and I've got the nut on the other side right there. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the tow arm here. So you can see this is the tow arm. It says top left. If you're sitting in the car, left is left, right is right. So it's not facing the car, it's sitting in the car. So this goes to the subframe, and I've got the original bolt for the bottom hole here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide that in. And I've got the first one started. And now I'm gonna use the bolt that they sent with the kit. And I'll show you here, I'll take the camera down. So the housing on either side of the subframe has a square channel. You can see there's a cutout right there, a channel, and it's on both sides of this. And so when I slide this in place, I've got to put that square bracket into that channel. Now I'll put the sensor back on. So now I'm going to pop the link arm off because I've got a new one to replace it with. This lowering link comes with an Allen wrench to set the set screw. It's loose by default. So if I turn this, it actually gets longer. And there is a guide. I'll turn it out a lot just to be able to see. But you can see the lines on there. And when that line is on 0, that's the 0 line. And then there's 0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, back to 10. And then each one of the lines that's on this shows you how far you've gone out. So right now, I'm going to take this to -5. Actually, I'm on -8. I'm going to leave it on -8 right now. I think that's about where I was off, was somewhere around 0.7, 0.8. So I'm going to leave that just like that, and I'll adjust it as I need to once I get it installed. So I'm going to tighten the set screw. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. This side. Takes a lot of force. So if you feel like it takes a lot of force, there it goes, boom. So this goes down. So then we'll pop this onto here, boom. So now this side is actually good to go. You can see it's pretty fast if you know what you're doing and if you don't have to cut this bolt. So the torque specs for this are 96 foot-pounds of torque on the toe arm and 96 foot-pounds of torque on the camber arm at the subframe, but 103 foot-pounds of torque at the wheel assembly. So if you haven't used a torque wrench, here you can see that I've got a torque wrench. It has lines on here. Let's see if I can get that a little closer. And these lines allow me to set the torque by turning this in. So right there, I'm at 70 on the line. That will be 71, 72. I'm going to go around to full rotation. Now I'm at 80. So I need to keep going until I am at 90 and then go to 96. Once I'm at 96, I can set this in just to keep it from moving. I've already got my 18mm on there. Set this here. Boom. Let me just make sure that the nut is, boom. Yep, good to go there. There it is. Done. So everything is torqued up. My arm link is in place, so we're good there. That's torqued, got this strapped off. The rest of the process is pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and get the tire back on. One of the things that I really love about working on cars is it reminds me of my dad. He passed away a couple of years ago, and you know, sometimes I think of him and it's really thick, but get a lot of peace working on cars. It reminds me of my upbringing, and I remember he always said, "Son, I don't want you to work on cars. You're constantly busting your knuckles, your body hurts, fingernails are always going to be black." And I said, "Well, what if I love it?" And he said, "Well, do it because you love it. Don't do it for a job." There's nothing wrong with doing it for a job. I think he was wrong on that, especially with today's modern technicians. But I'm so glad that he did end up taking the time to teach me and show me how to do a lot of this stuff, because like I said, I love it. I'm a big hot rod guy, and he would talk about his old muscle cars that he had, and I was always glad when he talked about it. I'll keep on going here. All right, so we are wrapping up. I'll just give you guys one last update here. First thing is I went and got some new shoes for the rear tires. Got the same tires as what are on the front. Just wanted to match those up. I'm actually happy with these. They are Yokohama Geolander XCV crossover tires made for an SUV, and they performed well. Of course, they wore out fast on that inner edge, but all tires do on these Teslas until you have the Camber correction kit. Look how good that looks. It's solid. So a couple of updates here. Torqued everything down. I did make an adjustment to the ride height. I had it at -7. I backed that off to -2. It was way too low. And I've got this sitting on jack stands. And what I did to get my initial alignment, I have these really amazing TMR alignment tools. And I had to take off the caliper, but this goes on the lug nuts. And these channels right here are made for a measuring tape. And so I had a buddy help me and hold it on one side while I went to the other. And I got them both, basically split the difference. You know, they were towed in 1.5 inches. Well, just about 1.5 inches. That's crazy because of bringing the camber out to offset that negative camber towards the outside of the car. So I got it to where they are dead nuts on. This thing is in really good alignment, and they won't have to do much work when they get it to the shop. To adjust the alignment, there's 2 set screws, as I've showed you at the beginning of the video, and then just this nut turns. And man, I love this. Intuitive gives you this 30mm aluminum socket to get in here for that nut. That's the only nut you have to turn. There's not multiple nuts like there was on the other kit that I had. And it has a 1/2-inch ratchet adapter so that you can turn it if you need to, but it was easy to turn by hand. So I just turned it by hand, and then I put the set screws back following their torque specs. I've got everything else in here torqued up, and then moving over to the other side, I got the ride height set to -2 on that lowering link. Got everything torqued up here as well. Did the same thing on the tow arm there. So we are good to go. And there's my other TMR alignment rod. Got my new rubber there. And I haven't installed the front lowering links yet. I'll get those done, but I just am gonna get to stock height for now. I'll put the front ones on so that I can lower the car a little bit, because I do like the look of it lowered. And then it's such a big difference between these other sets that I had. Do not recommend these. There's the factory ones. And I got most of my tools cleaned up, so pretty much ready to go. So that's a wrap. I'm really satisfied with the Intuitive product. It's leaps and bounds better than what I had. The additional tools that they give you for the adjustability is so much better than the other aftermarket kit that I had. Highly recommend these Intuitive guys. I'll give you guys an update in 3-4 months and let you know that everything is going good. I'll comment on this video below to any comments that we receive and give you my honest feedback here. There is a link to the Intuitive products in the description of this video if you want to check them out. They have other products as well, depending on the year and the model that you have. So I'm really excited about getting to the alignment shop and getting this to where it's perfectly, no negative, no positive camber. It's just 0 degrees perfect so that I can get the longevity out of these tires that I really want. And I'm gonna do that when it's on its low ride height setting, because that's what I like to ride in, is that low ride height setting. I think it just looks so good. Right now it's on medium, little high for my taste. I want it to be a little bit lower. So, man, this job, if you have to cut the bolt on the tow arm at the subframe, it's pretty advanced. You need to be comfortable with the little saw to get in there and cut it, or some people use a Sawzall. I used a little rotary tool that I got from Harbor Freight. It worked really well. So that's it, guys. You got to get this done, or you're going to be spending $700, $800, $1,000 on tires every 6 months, maybe a year if you're lucky, depending on how much you drive. I'm Tory Hornsby with Tesla Tips and Tricks. Comment below if you have any questions or if you have any comments, and be sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.